Book 3 of Nicomachean Ethics is broken into 12 sections. In section 1, Aristotle says virtue concerns feelings and actions that receive either praise or blame. But which actions can people be held responsible for? Section 1 deals with an objection to his theory that people are responsible for their virtuous actions, and therefore for their happiness. What about situations where someone has no choice? Aristotle responds by defining what choice really means. First, define which actions are voluntary and which are involuntary. The trickier cases, which Aristotle calls mixed, are actions done to avoid a greater evil or to pursue a greater good. For example, a tyrant telling someone to do something shameful to save their children. Only forced actions, an external cause like an earthquake or a strong wind, or actions taken because of ignorance are truly involuntary, though involuntary ones are less straightforward. Aristotle distinguishes between action caused by ignorance and action done in ignorance. In section 2, decision plays a key role in virtue. But what is decision exactly? Although all decisions are voluntary, within a person's control, not all voluntary acts are decisions. A child or an animal can act voluntarily, but cannot make a decision. A spontaneous or spur-of-the-moment act is not a decision either. Furthermore, decisions are not appetites, wishes, or beliefs. People decide on actions to promote an end they desire. Someone may wish to be happy, but they cannot decide to be happy. They can, however, decide to take actions that lead to happiness. In section 3, the purpose of deliberation is usually to find the right means to achieve a certain end. We deliberate about only what is within our control, as an individual or by enlisting others to help make decisions. Deliberation happens when the outcome is unclear and the right way to act is undefined. Aristotle employs a variety of the logical syllogism, or a major and minor premise leading to a conclusion. Deliberation is about actions humans can take, and actions are taken to promote certain ends or goals. Therefore, we deliberate in order to promote certain ends or goals. In section 4, wishes are desires for the good. However, since not everyone has a correct understanding of the good, wishes are really for the apparent good of each individual. A base or vicious person may wish for something they believe is good without understanding that the outcome will be bad. An excellent or virtuous person will always wish for the actual good. In section 5, virtue and vice are within an individual's power to achieve. Legislators punish anyone who breaks the law through vicious actions, implying the lawbreakers had an ability and responsibility to act another way. People become unjust or intemperate through doing unjust or intemperate actions, which they can control but choose not to. He explains that while humans may not be responsible for the actions caused by ignorance, they are responsible for the ignorance itself. They should have known better. Aristotle says he will proceed to define the different virtues of character individually and in depth. In section 6, Aristotle begins his discussion on specific virtues, beginning with bravery. Bravery does not mean the absence of fear, but fear of the right things. Aristotle uses a soldier's death in war as an example. In section 7, Aristotle continues, the brave person is hopeful and confident, showing courage when it's necessary. The excessively fearless person is a madman. The rash or overly confident person boasts and pretends to be brave, and a coward fears the wrong things in the wrong way. In section 8, a few conditions are similar to, but not quite, bravery. Citizens act bravely when they want to win civic honors and avoid public shame and reproach. Experienced people act bravely because of their knowledge. People who act on spirit or meet danger impulsively lack the discretion of the brave. They're more like good fighters responding to instincts of pleasure and pain. Hopeful people overestimate their abilities and are not truly brave, and neither are those who act in ignorance. The brave person is mortal, with a natural aversion to death and pain. Unlike the rash person, the brave person takes sacrifice seriously. In section 9, a truly brave person will have the right state about frightening things. They will fear death, because the more virtuous they are, the more they will enjoy life. Thus, brave people do not always make the best soldiers. In section 10, Aristotle declares that temperance and bravery are virtues of the non-rational parts. Temperance is concerned with pleasures, not pains. Aristotle distinguishes between pleasures of the soul, like learning and listening to stories, and pleasures of the body, like experiences of the 5 senses. Temperance only concerns pleasures of touch and taste, specifically eating, drinking, and sex. In section 11, although appetites for nourishment and sex are natural, intemperate people indulge to excess. An intemperate person may eat and drink until they're too full and choose bodily pleasures at the expense of other things and feel pain when they do not get them. A temperate person has a moderate and reasonable appetite for bodily pleasures. In section 12, intemperance is more voluntary than cowardice, since it is natural to run from pain, but not natural to overindulge in pleasure. Ideally, appetites should follow reason, the way a child follows a teacher.